Close your eyes and sleep. Close your eyes and dream. Close your eyes from this world, for you are in paradise. Your paradise. Don't be afraid to change the rules. You are the president of your dream. You have the power to do anything. No more pain, no more suffering. Close your eyes, for the angel is with you. They might not be on earth, but they're with you. Close your eyes and be free. You don't have to stress no more. Everyone is with you. Love yourself. You don't need to impress. Close your eyes and be you. Just dream, because that's all you can do. We live in a world where the media takes youth for granted. We are all described as bad influences towards the media. And I have made this documentary to show that we are all not bad people. We do try just like you, but the way society is right now, it's hard to stand up for what you believe in. I have invited some youths in Nottingham, and with the help of YMCA, we have interviewed them and asked them opinions of what they think about the media. So sit back, relax, and you might learn something.
Main hobbies, going out with friends, partying.
I like making music, I like table tennis.
My main hobby is basically what I do is like filmmaking, right? Like I write scripts.
Hobbies are radio. I am a radio presenter for YMCA Digital.
New people, I guess. I don't really have a specific hobby that I like doing.
Videoing and probably.
And I come down like most evenings.
Just going out with friends because that's what makes me happy.
I've been like doing mostly like filmmaking drama since I was like younger, like when I was like 8.
What else I do? Music. Used to play basketball.
And do a bit of work on the radio, things like that. Yeah, I guess that's my main hobby. Like graphics and keeping up with technology.
I don't have a lot of hobbies, but I like to draw. I'm quite artistic. That's probably my main hobby.
So I have a short attention span, but you know.
Yeah, tell me something new. 'Cause I wanna know what's on your mind. So girl, tell me what's on your mind, and I know. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. Yeah, tell me what's on your mind.
Tell me what is on my
Tell me Tell me something new. Yeah, tell me something new. 'Cause I wanna know what's on your mind. So girl, tell me what's on your mind, and I know. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know.
It's I don't know. I can't say I know what it feels like to live anywhere in any other city.
I don't know really. It's just nuts in it, like nuts is nuts, like it's either hard or it's either good. You know what I mean? Nuts. Well, I wasn't born here or anything like that.
What's it like to live in Nottingham? It's okay, I guess. I mean, I've lived here all my life, so I can't really ask, you know, I won't know what it's like to live anywhere else. So for me right now, it's alright.
Because I've only ever lived in Nottingham, so I suppose I don't know any different. I don't know if it has an effect on my life particularly, but yeah.
It's different from other cities. Obviously, it's a huge city and there's lots of people, but
It's decent.
some of the people can be a bit, you know, arrogant, but I think overall it's a nice place. Maybe if we had a bit more going on, it'd be a bit more exciting.
I came here like 2 years ago, so because I came from London, but it's alright, I guess. I won't say it's the best place because I haven't lived here like long, but it's alright. I like most people here.
I would like to live in either Colton or Mapley, places that I know well.
It's not really. I don't really have an opinion about it. It's just I just go by with it.
Well, I'm at college, post 16 at Genocley. I don't like it, to be honest.
Going to Emmanuel.
I think the place is a bit daunting and overwhelming. I think that's mainly because of my experiences, but
It's different. It's not what I'm used to, but it's quite good education-wise.
What's it like to go to Bilborough College? Yeah, it's a nice place, nice people there. You know, got a lot of opportunities for you. You know, it's as good as any other college, I guess, you know.
It's alright, I guess. The girls there are too loud. But yeah, no, it's alright. Like once you get to know like everybody, like you get to like learn from different backgrounds. It's like it's okay. It's blessed.
like I said, some of the people are really arrogant.
My school. I don't know. Cool. In school, like, it was alright. Like, I never really got along in school, if you know what I mean. With college, yeah, really, because I go to college, I do what I want to do. I do music, innit? Music college, so, you know, I enjoy it, you know what I mean, so, yeah.
Different, because on my secondary school, I was like with people who were like me, and types of people like you won't find anyone like me or like no one's the same, and it's just different.
It's alright. It's just, as I say, I've not been to school anywhere else, so I mean it's just school, isn't it, really?
I don't really know. It's a lot different to what it used to be for other people our age. Like, there's not a lot of things to do nowadays than what there used to be. Like these places, like some places you don't even know exist. I didn't even know this place exists.
Just it can be hard, can be easy, because such like different things, such like jobs, like you need to fight with like hundreds of other people, like, other 16-year-olds trying to get the same job, but then like it's just
Well, depends what type of world you're in, if you know what I mean. Like, depends what type of place you are in your life, and not like either, you know, you got some people like,
It's like a roller coaster again. It's it can be a blessing, but at the same time it can be really depressing. I mean, is that right? But yeah, it's decent. It's decent.
I'm not sure, because I'm not sure. I don't know if I'm a fair representation of today's youth.
living in their own posh little world, or you got the people from like these sides or them sides, you know what I'm saying? So I can't really tell you that.
Or what do you think about them, like the posh people? And
It doesn't have to be just posh people, you know what I mean? It's just different type of people, you know what I mean? But like, I don't think nothing of them really that, you know what I mean?
why?
Because people tend to tell me I'm quite different.
Why do people think you're like different?
They say I'm posh, which is I suppose you could agree. I haven't got a particularly, posh upbringing. I, I was brought up in a fairly working class house in Carlton, so.
I won't say it's hard, but it can be sometimes challenging. I mean, if you're talking regarding people wanting to get a job, you're kind of classed as someone that doesn't work as hard. You're classed as someone that doesn't, you know, put themselves out there as much, and you kind of brush with the same broad strokes with just about you know some of the worst that that are out there. But we're not, you know, not everyone's got the individual selves, and everyone's different. I feel like you kind of get a bad rep.
I'm still young, but I would like to say hard, because like I believe that not a lot of people believe that youths can do it, because like they see us, they think, oh no, we're into gangs, we're like this, mostly due to either black, Asian or anything. And well, I don't really like it, but I don't really stick with it. Like I just do what I want to do, and which is like good, I guess.
Opportunities, because I didn't even know about this place until like 3 weeks ago, and when someone told me, and there's not many places like YMCA which give this chance to youths to showcase their talents or stuff like that and nurture themselves, and that's what I'll change.
The people. Throw all the negative people out and replace them with positive people.
Oh, there's a lot of things I'd like to change in Nottingham for yous. I mean, I don't think there's much things out there anymore for yous. Well, out there anymore, or if there were anything out there, probably been before my time. It's just, it feels like there's not enough things out there for people to do that make people interested. You know, maybe that's why people getting a bad rep. You know, our age are getting a bad rep for what they like.
I don't think there's much that I would change. I think it's I think there's quite a lot of opportunities, you know, i.e. down here at YMCA. I think it's quite good as it goes. So I don't think I'd change anything.
More opportunities. I feel like Notts needs more links. If you know what I mean. You know what I mean, more connections. Needs to start branching out. You know what I mean.
I'd like for more young people to be like aware of things, especially like crime and things like that. Like too many people getting involved with stupid things like that. Like there's so many young people just like doing stupid things.
Riots have led to some pretty gloomy assessments of the state of modern England. The Prime Minister's diagnosis is that the country isn't just broken, it's sick. Sky's Emma Heard has been to Nottingham, a city that has suffered outbreaks of violence, but hasn't really been the focus of attention.
After the chaos, the clampdown. The police in the centre of Nottingham reclaiming the city after 2 nights of unrest. To be on the streets now is considered suspicious, so people are herded like sheep as potential troublemakers.
Yes, they've been escorted up Callan, all peaceful, no problems whatsoever. Drop your hood, otherwise you get... Mate.
Even wearing a hood is considered threatening.
Keep going now. Come on.
This is Britain, quiet now, but changed.
Well, it's fairly quiet here tonight, but things are definitely not normal. It feels like there are more police on the streets than people. And this is what it's taken here to restore some kind of calm, an unsustainable level of policing.
We spent the day in this city, a place largely ignored as violence flared in London, Manchester and Birmingham. But here too there was trouble, and there's tension still.
For the youngsters, yeah, it's hard to get a job. So basically now, yeah, the only way to make money is to go along and do what you're doing. You know what I mean? Obviously, people are taking it as an advantage, innit? What's going off is going off. But there's money to be made, so people are just getting out there and making the money what they've got to be made, innit?
That's what I mean, because certain people...
No, I was nothing to do with it, you know what I mean?
So what stopped you doing it then?
Who, me? Because I've got more sense than money.
That's what I mean, I'm a working guy. I'm a working guy, so I don't need to do stuff like that, yeah.
You lot are all, kill this, kill that, let's go break into JD. For what? Some trainers?
Very mature, very mature.
Do you know what I mean? There's no point. You're just making the world a worse place than it already is, and we've got to live here.
It all started with a small riot on one of the poorer estates in Nottingham.
What we don't want is a repetition of rocks being left and then a repetition of tonight using the same rock. So, got you guys down here to give us a bit of a clear up.
Yeah.
This is St Anne's, long the focus of intensive community policing. You don't have to spend long here to see the challenges they face.
Do you want to stop throwing glass?
Stop throwing.
Do you want to stop going and throwing glass? All right. There's enough damage down here at the minute without making any more, isn't there? They just run into these little alleyways.
They're trying to rebuild relations now, but resentment runs deep.
There's a big distance between the police and the youth around here today.
Some residents don't even want to be filmed speaking to the police, a sign of the level of their disaffection with life in Britain now.
Big business, politicians, corrupt corporations, what have got their boot on people's throat and not letting them breathe. And they have to work 2 jobs to fund the children, and the children are left to be raised by Xbox and television because the mum and dad is paying money to this legal mafia called a government and working 2 jobs to pay all the tax just to keep a normal life for the child, so the child can have the things that the television's telling them that they want.
And then there's the issue of race, alienation.
When I see the flag and that's all St George, there is a part of me that will consider myself even English, but as far as the police are concerned, I'm not. I'm just an immigrant. I've got more in common with an immigrant. I'm being real with you. I've got more in common with an immigrant that can't even speak English just because of my skin colour. And that's just the way things are in this country.
The police are trying here, but they're outsiders themselves in this neighbourhood. And even their supporters think their tactics are wrong.
I think if they talk to the kids with respect, they will respect them and have a laugh as well. It's just a bit of talking, that's it. It's just a bit too overpowering sometimes. Yeah.
But you know these guys, you're
and
familiar with them.
Yeah.
And you think they do a good job here?
Of course they do, yeah.
There were just small pockets of violence throughout the city, but it still took the police by surprise.
I've worked in St Anne's for all my police service, 11 years. And I've seen a lot of things in St Anne's, but I've never seen levels of violence and disregard for the law on such a scale.
In the city centre, the shops now claim it's business as usual, but some of the big names here still fear looting. They may be open, but they only want paying customers now.
If this was some grand statement about capitalism, you'd expect the designer stores to be boarded up. But instead, it's the sports shops, the TV shops, the photography suppliers. The looters seem to have a list of things they want, but can't afford. Criminal behaviour, certainly, but it might also say something about the society we've become.
What we see played out in these kinds of riots is actually this sort of clash of different sort of value systems, and perhaps one set of values that we see paraded in society is about consumer culture, about what kinds of goods are valued, about people's status and sense of identity actually being formed through the kinds of things that they can consume.
It is impossible to blame just one issue for all of this. Too dramatic to say that Britain's broken, but it's perhaps no longer quite as whole as we thought.
I suppose in the end what we're very sad about is the breakdown of family life, and this wanton destruction is going from one generation to another. So I think that's the sadness. I don't think it's new, but I think it's obviously very disappointing.
There will be a few tense nights yet in Nottingham, but the police aren't alone here now in calling for calm.
Today you see 1, 2, 3, 5 of us. Tomorrow you might see 500 of us. It just takes one to start and everybody will follow.
Together we stand with peace.
Just like chaos, community spirit can spread. Emma Hurd, Sky News, Nottingham.
And Sky News has just obtained more pictures that give you an idea of what it was like in Manchester on Tuesday evening here, the CCTV footage of a mob running around the city centre there, seemingly out of control. Police chasing the mobs and the yobs around the city centre there. But plenty of arrests have been made in all the major cities of these troublemakers and hooligans. Many people appearing in court today. We'll bring you more on the riots and the reaction to those coming up in just a moment on Sky News.
No, the only thing I'd say is at school I'm quite into drama, so when I don't like it when schools don't care about drama. They don't pay attention and they think it's just a pointless subject.
Probably just getting into trouble when I was younger. Other than that, just kind of make it happen myself.
I won't say there are specific things that I feel that have restricted me from doing things, but I'll just say again, being a youth, being under 18, I guess. You're in your class as an under, not a fully adult.
Yeah, music. Obviously for me, I wanted it to be easy, but coming into the scene, it's even though we've came far in hip hop and music, it's dominantly black. So I think me just paying my dues, going step by step, that's been hard. If it was easier for me, I think that would be the change I'd make.
Haters, but I don't really listen to them. That's really it, haters. Mostly racism as well.
Yeah, there are things that, get in the way of being able, again, not classed as being responsible or independent enough. So you still have that training wheels, and that kind of inhibits you from wanting to do what you want to do, I guess.
Hello, I'm Severin Suzuki, speaking for ECHO, the Environmental Children's Organization. We're a group of 12 and 13-year-olds trying to make a difference. Vanessa Setti, Morgan Geisler, Michelle Quigg, and me. We've raised all the money to come here ourselves, to come 5,000 miles to tell you adults you must change your ways. Coming up here today, I have no hidden agenda. I am fighting for my future. Losing my future is not like losing an election or a few points on the stock market. I am here to speak for all generations to come. I am here to speak on behalf of the starving children around the world whose cries go unheard. I am here to speak for the countless animals dying across this planet because they have nowhere left to go. I am afraid to go out in the sun now because of the holes in our ozone. I am afraid to breathe the air because I don't know what chemicals are in it. I used to go fishing in Vancouver, my home, with my dad, until just a few years ago we found the fish full of cancers. And now we hear of animals and plants going extinct, every day vanishing forever. In my life, I have dreamt of seeing the great herds of wild animals, jungles and rainforests full of birds and butterflies, but now I wonder if they will even exist for my children to see. Did you have to worry of these things when you were my age? All this is happening before our eyes, and yet we act as if we have all the time we want and all the solutions. I'm only a child, and I don't have all the solutions. But I want you to realize, neither do you. You don't know how to fix the holes in our ozone layer. You don't know how to bring the salmon back up in a dead stream. You don't know how to bring back an animal now extinct. And you can't bring back the forest that once grew where there is now a desert. If you don't know how to fix it, please stop breaking it. Here, you may be delegates of your government, business people, organizers, reporters, or politicians, but really, your mothers and fathers, sisters and brothers, aunts and uncles, and all of you are someone's child. I'm only a child, yet I know we are all part of a family, 5 billion strong. In fact, 30 million species strong. And borders and governments will never change that. I'm only a child, yet I know we are all in this together and should act as one single world towards one single goal. In my anger, I am not blind, and in my fear, I am not afraid of telling the world how I feel. In my country, we make so much waste. We buy and throw away, buy and throw away, buy and throw away, and yet northern countries will not share with the needy. Even when we have more than enough, we are afraid to share. We are afraid to let go of some of our wealth. In Canada, we live the privileged life with plenty of food, water, and shelter. We have watches, bicycles, computers, and television sets. The list could go on for 2 days. 2 days ago here in Brazil, we were shocked when we spent time with some children living on the streets. This is what one child told us. I wish I was rich. And if I were, I would give all the street children food, clothes, medicines, shelter, and love and affection. If a child on the streets who has nothing is willing to share, why are we who have everything still so greedy? I can't stop thinking that these are children my own age, that it makes a tremendous difference where you are born. That I could be one of those children living in the favelas of Rio. I could be a child starving in Somalia, or a victim of war in the Middle East, or a beggar in India. I am only a child, yet I know if all the money spent on war was spent on finding environmental answers, ending poverty, and finding treaties, what a wonderful place this earth would be. At school, even in kindergarten, you teach us how to behave in the world. You teach us not to fight with others, to work things out, to respect others, to clean up our mess, not to hurt other creatures, to share, not be greedy. Then why do you go out and do the things you tell us not to do? Do not forget why you are attending these conferences, who you're doing this for. We are your own children. You are deciding what kind of a world we are growing up in. Parents should be able to comfort their children by saying, everything's going to be all right. It's not the end of the world, and we're doing the best we can. But I don't think you can say that to us anymore. Are we even on your list of priorities? My dad always says, you are what you do, not what you say. Well, what you do makes me cry at night. You grown-ups say you love us, but I challenge you, please, make your actions reflect your words. Thank you.
I would like to thank you, the four of you, for your participation in this conference and for reminding us that we are responsible for the world and for the future generations, and also for reminding us that we are responsible not only for our words, but also for our actions. I am keenly aware that what the four of you have said to us makes us all feel, to make a quote of a Brazilian poet, that we all have two hands and the sentiment of the world. And I think this is what you have expressed.
Well, to be honest, I try to stay away from the media as much as possible now, because it can be really biased, and from one perspective. I think for the youth, I think most of the media portray us as, you know, violent, arrogant.
Well, the media, they say a lot of stuff about different things. Because, like, I feel like the media don't really say the truth about most stories. Like, they just like, oh yeah, this is good news. And they kind of spread negativity. But, like, obviously it's their job, so. But I believe that maybe, like, if the media, like maybe BBC or something, come and actually sit with some youths and talk to them and see, like, what they want to do, then, like, it won't be like, oh yeah, all this and that.
You know, nuisances to society, but they need to realize that the future kind of depends on us. They're gonna, you know, pass away and go, and we have to form our own legacy, if you get what I mean.
The media do their job. You know, they get the word out there, regardless of what the word is. The media, I wouldn't want to say they give a bad rep, because it's not solely down to, you know, the media. I mean, obviously there are cases where, you know, that youths do give us a bad rep, but, you know, the media, yeah, they've got a reputation of hyping things up just a little bit too much.
I disagree with it, actually. I think they portray youth as quite a what's the word? I suppose if you said the word youth to I don't know, press, a paparazzi or whatever, I don't know, a newspaper, then 9 times out of 10 they'd associate them with drugs and crime and knives and all that kind of thing, which I think is completely unfair.
I think the media have a stereotype about youths. I think they think all youths are the same, not wanting to work, not wanting to do something with their lives, but many people want to do something and they want to be the best at what they do, and I don't think the media portrays the youth right.
I think they go a bit overboard with the way they describe and go on about youths. They think like they're all the same, and they've got a stereotype to all, which is like completely wrong.
Social class.
Yeah.
Like, you know, when you go to a class to socialise with people.
No.
No, I don't know.
Never mind.
Is that when? Actually, I don't know.
No. Is it? Forgot. I don't know.
What do you mean? As in, do I know what social classes are?
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Okay, tell us.
My definition of social class, at least in the UK, is, you know, there's 3 classes. You got the working class, the middle class, and the upper class. I don't know if there's much about upper class, you know, hear much about the upper class these days, but
well, there's races, and then ages, and then classes like working classes, so middle working class, upper working class.
Yeah, I learned it in drama. and it's basically like about working class. What else? That's really all I know. Working class and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's the way I would class it, and what your income is, where you live, what type of a person you are, can automatically put you in that perceived group that you might or should be in.
I look down on him because I am upper class.
I look up to him because he is upper class.
But I look down on him because he is lower class.
I am middle class. I know my place. I look up to them both. But I don't look up to him as much as I look up to him. Because he has got innate breeding.
I have got innate breeding, but I have not got any money.
Social class is the division of society based on social and economical status. These classes are divided into upper class, upper middle class, lower middle class, working class. The types of jobs within these classes differ. Upper class provides jobs such as CEO of multinational corporations, bank managers, politicians, and much more. Whilst upper middle class provides jobs such as engineering, accounting, and directors of public and private organisations. Lower middle class provides jobs such as clerical administration, sales advisors, and data collection. Working class provides jobs in the care and trade industries. We also divide the social classes and the jobs within them using 3 terms: white collar, pink collar, and blue collar. White collar refers to people who work in office-based environments such as bank manager, accountants, and other business administration roles. Pink collar refers to jobs traditionally associated with women, such as hairdressing, retail, and catering industries. Blue collar refers to manual work with the trades such as construction, electricians, plumbers, and builders.
I would say it can go either way when it comes to use and social class and what you do at the end of the day, because on one hand you could say that it's harder if you're coming from a working class background, because you don't have those opportunities that people who are in middle class or upper class have better than you. Then that's a determination that people in middle class and upper class don't have, to want to get out of that working class, and not just living on the line, but feeling comfortable when you grow up. I certainly want to move up. I want to grow up and be comfortable. Not just living by how am I going to pay, the monthly bill, month to month. I don't want to live like that. So I guess you could say on one hand, social class plays a part, but then it's all down to the individual. If they want it enough, I guess they can get it.
I think to a certain extent it does, but it shouldn't restrict the person. You know what I mean? It shouldn't, but to an extent it does. For example, if you're living in the ghetto or in the hood and you're broke, it's harder to make something out of your life because you're starting from the bottom. But I think it's also a blessing because you learn the struggle, and it's the process that can really make you define yourself, and you'd have that hard-working mentality stay with you as you grow. Yeah, definitely. Like if I was in an upper class, rich, had a lot of money, I don't think my values of appreciation would be where they are now, if you get what
I would say so. I've never been one to have a lot. I've just had enough where I can survive. Not living in the most wealthy of places. And being around people that are wealthy. The secondary schools that I went to, even primary school sometime. And at college as well.
I mean, I don't think I'd appreciate most of the stuff I have, obviously I could be wrong, but for me, I think coming from the place I have, it's definitely had an effect on my development.
You know, you get to see people who live differently, and because of that, it makes me determined. You know, where I work as well, you get to see how the other half live. Well, the other half to me anyway, how they live, and it drives me to want to do better. You know, because sometimes you do see the differences when you're on the other side. You know, you do see the differences. So I would say it played a part for me to want to determine myself to move on. Get higher on top of that ladder.
Okay.
Dad, should have been there more. Nah, I'm messing. Important.
My dad, he's always been there. Like, I guess he's always been there, which is like good, because most dads do leave you. But at times he could just be really annoying. But like, I guess he's just trying to be a good father and trying to like make me do better and be a better person. Like, cause if you look now, like most dads are not like here, like with their kids. They just dip, which is like bad. And like, I'm happy like my dad stayed with me and then decided to leave.
Caring, cause he's been there most of my life. And obviously, when he hasn't been there, he's tried, innit? So.
Loving, kind, and like always there for you.
Why'd you say mom?
Just because it's you know, a lot of the time, children have a mum and a dad. I do.
Dad. Oh, 15, 16 years pop into mind. That's the first thing that pops into mind. Not there. Happy though. Him not being there has made me the person that I am today, I guess. You know, would I have been a better or worse person with him being there? I don't know. But I can honestly say that I'm happy as to who I am because of him may or not being there. Again, if it had an impact, I don't know. But I'll sure be looking for the 15 years of birthday and Christmas presents anyway, but that's a different story.
Mom.
Why mom?
I don't know, it's just mom and dad. You know what I mean? I don't know, you just caught me on the spot there.
Wrong.
Why is it wrong?
Because it's wrong. No one should be judged by the color of their skin or their race.
Racism's stupid. That's what I think. Like, that I don't see the point of being racist. Like, why are you gonna be racist? Like, it's just stupid, really. Like, just let people do what they want to do. Let them be themselves. Like, it's not always about, oh yeah, you gotta be this or you gotta be that. Like, everyone's equal in their way. So.
Discriminative and wrong.
Oh, why is it wrong? Why is it wrong?
Why is it wrong? Because I don't think anyone should have to face racism. I think everyone should be treated equally, no matter the colour of your skin.
Bad.
Why is it bad?
Racism is bad.
Can you give more definition?
Why is it bad? I don't know, because it just is, you know what I mean? Like, it's wrong, it's a wrong thing to do, be racist to someone's wrong. It's just normal to know, innit?
Racism. Disgusting. Because I don't think it should be around anymore. That's something for 20th century, not 21st century.
Racism. Now that is a word. Racism is a word that I've grown up with. Grandparents, parents, family members, you know, all telling me what I'm gonna get used to in life. But as I grow older, you know, I get to see subtle things. Again, where I work, you know, the word racism it drives emotion. It's a very oblique You know, it's very grey area. I mean, there's things, actions, things people say that you sometimes make you wonder, was that racist? Was it not? Is it racist of me to think it was? Me prejudging someone to think that that was a racist thing, especially if it was coming from a certain type of person. So there's a lot of things that run in my mind when I think about the word racism, and especially who it you know refers to. You know, I'm sure we can all probably say at one point in time it definitely applied to, you know, black people, but now is it not so much? Is it now moving to a different type of person? You know, again, there's a lot of thoughts that go into that word.
Nelson Mandela.
Why Nelson Mandela?
Because he's a huge figurehead in the history of racism, and I think he's a very inspirational man.
Corrupted.
Police, stay away from them. Because like, I'm not gonna lie, but I think I actually got in trouble with the police once. It wasn't really like much. It was just like a fight, but they're doing the jobs, and like, not all police are bad. Just to let you know, not like all police are bad people. Like, yeah, if you heard about the Mike Brown situation, that oh yeah, this police killed this black guy, yeah, that's like really bad, because he's not really doing his job. He's just like, oh yeah, because I have this badge, I can do whatever I want, which is not like the point of like anything. Like, if you're a police, you gotta protect people, despite if you have a badge or not.
Police. That's a word that drives emotion. Not just to me, but I'll say to a lot of my friends as well. A lot of negative vibes around police. I can't say I've never had run-ins with police, because my mum's, always, she'd led me down the right path, where to be and where not to be, how to act, how not to act. So I've never really had any run-ins with police, because I think my mum's raised me the right way, where I've never had to be in that position to. I guess the only thing I could say about police is it's not representative. I mean, where I live, I don't think the police represent the population. I think that's something that should be a paramount. The police should represent the people. So you can actually sort out disputes that need to be sorted out. That maybe someone who lives.
I don't know what to say about police. There's a lot of injustice with police, but then some of them are good, some of them fight for what's right, but some don't. So
blue lights. Please, jail.
Would you ever want to go to jail if you got arrested?
I don't think anyone wants to go to jail. Pigs.
I think the only reason I think that is because I've got a lot of friends who well, not friends, but people who don't have anything else to do but do what they do, and I just sometimes they discriminate and are racist sometimes, so that's why I dislike them.
10 miles away, who's coming to work as a police officer in that area might not be accustomed to, or might not have to deal with a situation maybe that someone who has that street smarts as you were, or something like that, to deal with whatever problems day to day.
White crime.
Because police fight crime is just the first thing that came into my head.
Do you think the police are doing good in today's society?
I wouldn't say they were doing a bad job. I mean, I can't say I know any police officers myself, or I can't say I've been arrested before. But I don't know. I'm sure they are. I'm sure they're doing a very good job.
All right.
Not at all. I think I I support anyone in their in whatever religion they decide to follow. I don't have a religion. I don't believe in any God, but I don't think it affects anything these days, at least in my community. So no.
Religion for me is a big importance. I mean, personally for me, I believe there's a God. Religion per se, I was raised a Catholic, the Catholic religion, but as time goes on, you hear a lot of things about certain religions, and when it comes to money or if it comes to abuse or anything like that, So I've always, religion was something that's been instilled by me by my grandma. Go to church every blessed Sunday. That's what I'm.
Well, I grew up with Christian parents. I grew up in a Christian family, but like me, I'm not mostly Christian. I'm like a atheist, basically. But I respect their religious background.
I'm used to, but religion has played a part in the way I conduct myself in education and everything else. I mean, I believe one day, when that time comes, when I'm no longer on this earth, I'd like to believe there was something there for me, and it's a moral guidance compass, would you say, for something, to guide me on, should I do something, should I not do something, should I say something, should I not say something, I think it really does play a part. Not for everyone, but for me, it gets me through my day-to-day life.
It does, but it doesn't at the same time, because I'm a Catholic. I went to a Catholic school, so that affected my education.
Well, I'm Christian, but it doesn't really affect what I did in school because I'm just the same person, and it doesn't really affect me outside of school or anything like that. So it's all good.
It's I'm not like that type of person, oh, what you believe is stupid, or that, I respect people's religion, because my mom and my dad always told me to respect people and opinions and their facts, because if you want people to respect you, you gotta respect them first. So
other schools, they don't learn as much and we do a lot more as a Catholic school. So yeah.
I think I've done this before, innit? Be patient, and that's the best advice.
Don't give up.
Just do what you want to do. That's what I'd say. Just don't let nothing stop you. Do what you want to do and just keep at it consistent and keep switching up and that, you know what I mean?
Take criticism the right way, because some people think as if they're hating on each other and as if they don't like each other, but really people are just trying to help you out. And I think that's one of my main problems when growing up, that I thought that people didn't like me or didn't were trying to stop me from doing what I was doing, but they were really helping me to become the person I am now. So I think that's the one thing I'll tell people to do.
Advice I give: stay who you are, be yourself. Don't care what other people think about. If you want, go crazy, be weird if you want. Not gonna lie, I'm a real weirdo, but I think I'm a unique kind of type. Most of the time, I don't really speak to everyone, because I'm not as people say here, commercial. But I do know a lot of people, and I do like to stick to who I am. I like to make people laugh. I like to entertain people, because that's who I am.
Advices that I want to give to youths in Nottingham. I've never been one to tell people what to do. I've learned, people will see what they want to see, and they will hear what they want to hear, and they'll do what they want to do, regardless of what you want them to do or what you tell them. It's their choice. So I wouldn't want to tell them anything, but if I was to say something, just go out, try and learn from other people's mistakes. My family members always told me about things that they've done and that they wish they've changed. Don't think that you know it all the time, because I don't know it all the time. I know a person, quite older person, and still, they're still in education. So every day is a learning experience. So don't ever think you know it all. Just try to learn from mistakes that you make and what other people make.
Do what you want. Not do what you want, but obviously within reason. It's cliche, but follow what you want to do. Don't let people tell you that, oh no, being an actor, that's not a good way to go. You won't get anywhere if you're an actor. Or don't be a rapper or a pop star, because I think if you truly believe that that's what you want to do, then there should be no quarreling with that.
with you